Hello, this is an impromptu video because one of my viewers requested some information about increasing your milk supply if you're breastfeeding. And I gave her a couple of ideas, but I'm going to actually give you a list. You can mix and match any of these to make teas to drink. A few of them are really good. And then if you sweeten with honey, it's very good for you. And it's good for the baby's ingestion through you. Only through you, because until they are one, they cannot have honey on their own. But the common breastfeeding herbs for nursing women to make teas are fenugreek, blessed thistle, fennel, stinging nettle, goat's rue, alfalfa, milk thistle, anise or anise, however you want to say it, marshmallow root, red raspberry leaf, coriander, caraway, and verbena. So when I was nursing my children, I'm going to tell you which ones I used, what I put together, and what I thought of the taste. Now, I know for a fact that thistle and nettle are bitter. So those three right there, you would really have to sweeten or add it with something else. They're super good for you and they're really good for the baby, but you would have to tone down that cut. So you would have to mix it. You just could not make a tea by themselves unless you're just like that with your taste buds. I don't know. Now fennel is an interesting taste. I use fennel a lot when I am making certain kinds of Eastern foods. So like Indian curries and things like that. Some Korean or Thai foods, I'll add a little fennel. As a tea, I would mix just a tiny bit with raspberry leaf and maybe a little bit of coriander, which brings me to the coriander, also really good. Now, the fennel and the coriander and the caraway seeds are really good to cook with. So if you don't want to use them as a tea, you can use them in different dishes. Like I said, Eastern mostly, to add the spice. Those are really super good. And you don't have to have it as a tea. You can just ingest it and it creates that boost that you need, that kick. Now, let's see. Goat's rue is an herb. It's what some Latinas and Latinos, so I'll just say it encompassing them all, as Latinos, they'll use the ruda. They make it out of rue. And they add the rue to alcohol, like rubbing alcohol, and it's almost like an antibiotic. Not antibiotic, I'm sorry, antihistamine, like if you have cuts or stings or even burns, light burns, it actually helps heal. That'll be another video. But that's what the rue is for. Rue, I never really thought had a taste, so you could add it to any of them if you want to make a tea out of it. Now, alfalfa, I just never was a fan of alfalfa. And I think it was some long hidden trauma with the Little Rascals. Kind of freaked me out and creeped me out watching the show, but it was okay. As I got older, I understood why I felt like I did about seeing these kids run around in the dirt and junkyards and play and do things like that. But the alfalfa I'm not really a fan of, but it has an interesting taste. You can add that to different things, or you can cook with it. Now the coriander again and the caraway would be awesome to mix with your fennel, but you can add a little bit of both to the lemon verbena. And I'm sorry, it's just verbena here, but verbena is mostly sold in seeds that you can grow as an herb. And it's mostly lemon verbena, which is really super good. But you can add the coriander and the caraway just a little to the raspberry leaf. Now the marshmallow root would have to be mixed because on its own, I'm not quite sure how it tastes. But you would have to mix that with, a combination. Red raspberry leaf you can mix or you can leave by itself. That tea is just so good. And then, of course, the verbena is really good. Lemon verbena is a better taste than plain. And you just add a little honey or even agave nectar. That's really good for you too. But honey is a natural antibiotic, and it's also like nature's Neosporin if you apply it to a cut or something on the outside of your body. So why not have it inside? Now, when you are doing this, make it as if it were a tea, just a regular tea. So you would have, you can buy the red raspberry leaf tea at any store, Walmart, Giant Eagle, Save-A-Lot. No, I have not seen it there yet. But Walmart definitely, and Giant Eagle. Now, when you are going to either one, grab a box, drink it. If you want your milk to come in quickly, then I would suggest drinking 2 to 3 cups a day of whatever combination that you're going to use. 2 to 3 cups a day. With or without food. I did it myself. With or without food, it didn't matter. It didn't change anything. Now, I am going to tell you as a disclaimer, because I don't want anyone getting on here saying, oh my God, you're not a doctor. Oh my God, this, oh my God, that. Actually, I do have some medical background. I'm not a doctor, but I was a nurse. But this is not anything that is westernized medicine at all. I do not claim to cure any ailment or anything like that. This is just things that I've seen work for myself, for family members, and for some friends. My grandmothers taught me, and I saw what they did to help other people. So this is just that. Another little side note, red raspberry leaf is also good if you have really super heavy periods or super painful periods. If you drink it, if you have a regular period, you can drink it about a week. Well, honestly, I drink red raspberry tea every day. But when, a few days before and a few days after my period, I drink more than my normal 1 cup a day. So I would be drinking 2 cups a day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening before my period, and I do it and after my period. But I also do it during my period. So it helps because mine are really heavy and they are really painful lately. It never was before. They were always heavy, but never painful. But within the last couple years, I now know what people feel when they talk about, being on their periods and they have PMS or whatever. I now know how they physically feel because mine they feel like they're ripping me apart. I don't know. But that was just my little disclaimer. I know I should have did it at the beginning of the video, but I didn't think about it until now. But yes, try those things and see which ones work best for you as in taste, and just go from there. Honestly, you have to be consistent. Also, drinking more water, eating more fruits, and also if you are a smoker. Now, not only are you hurting the milk supply if you smoke a lot, but whatever you are ingesting, your baby ingests. That's just my own personal opinion. Don't flip out because I have an opinion. But if you are a smoker, I'm not going to tell you to quit because I used to be a smoker. That's why I'm able to say what I say. But I used to be a smoker years and years and years and years ago. But when I found out I was pregnant with my oldest son, I decided to stop because I wanted him to be, smoke-free. I know nowadays, though, doctors are saying don't stop cold turkey because your body could go into shock. They didn't tell me that when I was younger. But now they're saying that. So please listen to your doctor. But instead of smoking as much as you normally would, cut back. If you cut back, it will also help your milk supply increase. I don't know why, but there's something, because there's all kinds of chemicals in the cigarettes, but there's something there that inhibits a good, healthy milk flow. So that's just a couple things. Not a lot of sedentary life either. Walk. Even if you just walk around your first floor or walk up and down the steps like 5 times twice a day. That gets you going. So a combination of all of that will actually help increase your milk flow, and then you'll be able to meet the demand of the baby, because it's up to him or it's up to her how much they want to drink, how much they want to consume, how much they want to eat, whatever you want to call it. So make sure that you're able to meet the demand. It's a supply and demand thing when you're nursing. So that should help you. Also eat a little healthier than you normally would, just in case. Now that hasn't, I never really tried to see about that, but it couldn't hurt. So, instead of the bag of chips that maybe you wanted to eat on or snack on, try some popcorn. Instead of the Butterfingers that I know someone personally, I'm not going to name any names, but I love her to death. But every time I saw her after she had her son, she had like a million Butterfingers. I'm exaggerating, of course, but she was always eating Butterfingers. And I told her, I said, your son is going to be drinking chocolate milk. And it's a game with us. But she did cut back a lot, which is good. But, instead of that candy bar, eat some celery with some peanut butter on it, or some carrots and dip it in some ranch. And I know ranch isn't the best, but it's better than a candy bar. So, give and take, and don't do anything too drastic because we don't want you to be resentful of what you're doing. We want you to enjoy the experience. I want you to enjoy the experience because it's a bond, and breast is best, I feel. Now, I did have to, supplement sometimes with a couple of my kids. So I'm not saying bottle feeding is bad or anything, but, if you have the opportunity and you can do it, breastfeed. It's awesome. But I will be talking to you all in a couple more days. I've got some great things to talk to you about. Something that, if you're trying to go natural with certain things, this is going to be for you. So I will talk to you later. Be blessed, be healthy, be happy, and be wise. Have a good evening.